treatments kind of suck. Wonder what I would have found if I did an assay on this one, eh? Look at all those mites. No pressure in a treated yard though. Psych. After being treatment free for 3 seasons, I don't know that the payoff is worth it. And that's the question I asked myself. Is it worth it? Is it worth losing colonies because you aren't treating? I don't know, the bees are foraging, they're making honey, they're doing well. Small hive beetles are a problem because I think some of the shade, the sunnier side of the yard does better than the shadier side, that's for sure. But no matter what, it doesn't matter what time of day I come over here. About 80% of the time it's shady in this yard. So the game plan is to go through, I think there's about 6 colonies here that had Formic treatment 15 days ago. I'm gonna go through, pull those pads off, evaluate and see if they're queen right, and make sure that there's active egg laying. Not gonna be too intrusive, just in and out, validate that the queen didn't get killed. Maybe even take a couple of quick looks at the cat brood that is in there and see how badly that may or may not have been affected. I will also take the super that's on the top of the box off that I put on there to add extra space in case the fumes created issues for the bees and they needed room. Over the last couple of weeks I've checked back on the bottom boards to see if there were any dead pupa or excessive bees being pulled out, dragged out, and there was no real sign that the Formic was too harsh for them. The temperatures were below 80 degrees in this treatment window. They didn't really get up over 80, and we even had pretty low nighttime lows. So I feel like under 80, and somebody had recommended 77 degrees for temperate climates like ours, where humidity plays a factor, will help with the positive results. But that's all jib jab and hearsay up until this point when I go over there and take a look. So let's go see. Proper protocol after a treatment like Formic, or really any other treatment, is to validate the results by taking a mite count following the treatment. And for Formic Pro, it says to wait 2 weeks after completion of the treatment before taking a mite count. I imagine that would be beneficial to the queen as well, because you're going to allow her to reestablish egg laying if the Formic did in fact reduce egg laying and brooding. So here we are. This is what the this is what the pads look like once they're done. The colony actually looks like garbage. As you can see, it's cool right now. It's about 70 degrees maybe, but a bulk of the bees are clustered on this right side of the colony. And you can see that there as well. And then this is a honey super. I don't have a whole lot of hope for this box. There quite literally is no bees or activity on these left 4 frames. And of course, because it's dark and shady over here, I need the flashlight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take advantage to remove 8 frames out of this box, because they just don't need them. And I don't think she's gonna lay all that up. So their chances of survival really suck at this moment. Awesome. Treating is not a guarantee. Not even a remote potential positive. Just completely shot. So colony was probably doomed to begin with. Mite count on that colony was like 20 plus mites. So not a whole lot you can do with 20 mites at the beginning of August. And then they didn't get treated until, I don't know, probably the 24th. So this is just evidence that I need to be monitoring sooner, or requeening sooner. I gotta be better about requeening. I keep saying that, but I need to start actually doing it more than I do. And you know, the thing is I got the nucleus colonies with the queen stock to do it. They're all right over there. It's time. Gotta have time. All right, let's do the next one. Let's see how bad that one. This colony had deformed wing virus. There's definitely a lot more bees in this one. I always say that if you have to treat and you lose the queen, I'm not mad because I lost the queen. It's because now you got to deal with the box. You got to deal with the bees. That's the part that sucks. This one's definitely got more bees in it. This one is a full honey super, so I'm not going to mess with that. All right. Definitely looks a lot better than that other box did. Here's the used Formic pads, and oh, it looks like we got a little bit of a beetle trap going there. That's handy dandy. Squeeze the small hive beetles while you're at it. I did see that they do enjoy Formic pads. All right, let's see what we got. Not likely going to find a lot of brood in this bottom box, but I'm going to check anyway. Okay, so we're 0 for 2. This one requeened itself. Isn't that great? That's awesome. There is a emerged cell, and there was a capped cell in the top. So it was either a supersedure or a emergency replacement. They got a lot of bees, but they don't have any brood. And there's no eggs. And it is September 7th. This colony is pretty much doomed. That colony is pretty much doomed. The only way they could be salvaged is I come back here on a sunny day and try to find that virgin. It's not likely to successfully mate this late in the year. or do a shakedown of all of these bees and put them all together since they're cleaned up and give them a queen. Treatments kind of suck. Some of these colonies actually got a treatment after the last video, but some didn't. Like this one on September 1st had a count of 13. I did not treat that colony. It was under 5%. The brood is going down this time of year. So that was 3 colonies so far. And one of 3 Formic colonies looked like they actually survived the treatment, and then in 14 days you come back and do a mite wash to validate. We'll see. This one looks 10 times better than the other 2. This one also had 15 mites, which is 5%, which is why I treated. But as you can see, there's a lot more bees in this one than there was those other ones. Yeah, August 24th is when those 2 pads went on, so I'm going to pull the pads, and I don't think that I'm going to dig too much for the queen here because it looks like they might be doing fine. So the whole point of being here is to determine if those colonies, the whole point of being here is to determine if those colonies that got treated still had queens. Yes, we have eggs and we have larvae. And we have capped brood. And that's what we want to see. So in that case, the treatment was successful. So I'm just going to get in here. Remove the pads. Because if I don't remove the pads, I will forget to come back and deal with them. That is definitely more encouraging than those last 2. Lots of bees in here as well. I think that just goes to show you the overall health of the colony was not dramatically impacted by the mites as of yet, at least as far as just sheer number of mites in the colony. But those other ones were definitely sicker. I feel like maybe that was the right decision. How about you? Having seen those other ones, I'm not super optimistic about how this one's gonna look. Let's go for 2 out of 4, eh? Well, looks like lots of bees. Well, where's the smoker? I have larvae. That means I have a queen. That means that I am not going to pry further and let them do their thing. That's a relief, so we're going for 50%. Oh, man. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It's like 30 or 40 mites on that Formic pad. So a lot of these colonies here on this side, as you can see, I've moved down the rows. Those two on the right scored 4 on the Harbo, very high on the pin-killed brood assay. The one on the left did not score well at all. Looked like it needed treatment and had a mite count of 19 at the beginning of August. And this one did as well. This colony here requeened itself. Otherwise was a previously high scoring VSH that I moved into that colony at the beginning of the year, of the season. And this one requeened with local drone stock, and then it requeened itself again. I don't know, but its mite count was 25 a week ago. And then this one here scored well, so did not get treatment. This one here was a cell builder and would not take a queen for the life of me. So it requeened with some of my local stock. Another one that I actually was able to get one of my queens into. And that mite count was, let's see, 1 on August 5th. So I'm not gonna mess with that. This one, however, 19 mites on the 5th, and this one had 19 mites on the 5th. And these two, when I tested them on August 31st, had 1 mite and 2 mites. That's pretty stinking good. And it just goes to show you how different these colonies can be in a yard. You have colonies with low mites and you have colonies with high mites right next to each other. All right? I'd say that there's probably enough pressure in this yard to create pressure on these colonies, and yet they kept their mite loads low. What was the difference? This one didn't keep its mite loads low. What was the difference? This one kept its mite load low. Let's see. August 5th, it had 8 mites. August 31st, it had 0 mites, and it scored 4 on the Harbo assay. Sorry, I'm a liar. It scored 3. It said Harbo 4, but I lied to myself. It's actually a 3. Wonder what I would have found if I did an assay on this one, eh? Look at all those mites. No pressure in a treated yard though. Psych. 10 total treated in this yard. That'll be 10 colonies that were treated in this yard. And you can see behind me, those are all queens from the stock that scores really well on the assay. Sitting in nukes, ready for winter. That should have been placed in colonies that were failing or needed to be requeened. But you know what? They're there for next year. So I'm always 1 year ahead, but I'm never quite a step ahead, if you know what I mean. The Nucleus sized stacks, 5 frame mediums anyway. So that's 23 colonies, and out of 23 colonies, 9 of them have been treated. That's almost 50%. Should have done better with requeening. When you're treating that many bees and your survival is still mimicking the same survival you had when you were treatment free, and I know I'm treating right, and I'm also cleaning up and following all the treatment protocols, and this will be about the 3rd season, I believe, of treatments, having started 3 seasons ago. After being treatment free for 3 seasons, I don't know that the payoff is worth it. And that's the question I ask myself. Is it worth it? Is it worth losing colonies because you aren't treating? But as we've just seen, following treatment protocols, I've lost colonies just as much as I may have had I let them go. Now the caveats that, the caveats that are with that is they could be mite bombs, mite lures, get robbed out, carry mites to colonies that are carrying low mites, etc. But at the same time, I could be requeening and investing in the genetics instead of treating the colonies. The monitoring is demonstrating that some colonies within the same yard are keeping mites low, and that could be genetics. Colonies that are next door to them are high, and that could be genetics as well. And colonies that are mating in the yard early in the season when I have a density of good stock are coming out looking really good and hygienic. And they just need a season under their belt to demonstrate that they can head up a colony and also resist varroa. So I've checked on 5 of the colonies that received treatments early on. The 6th one was oxalic acid vapor, so I don't really feel like there's a high risk to go into the colony and look for the queen, because that's just not a treatment that I'm going to be too terribly worried about. And they had mostly open brood. There's another colony that had mostly open brood that also got oxalic acid vapor. But this is a mixed treatment yard, and so far the facts are treatment carries a similar risk. I was averaging about 70% survival when I wasn't treating, and it looks like I'm averaging just a little bit over 30% treatment. And then the colonies that are surviving are obviously stock that isn't positively selected. It's not stock that you want because it has to be treated to survive. It's not stock that I want anyways, when I've got plenty of other colonies that are performing adequately without treatment and keeping the mite counts low. I know, it's just, it's not worth it. It hasn't been worth it. It hasn't been worth the time. It hasn't been worth the headache that it causes when it comes to selecting colonies and doing assays and worrying about mite loads and all that other jazz. I'm not saying that I won't monitor anymore. I'm just saying I don't think I'm going to continue this reduced treatment approach. Doesn't seem like it's been worth it.